Hello and welcome to this instalment of Talkin Trim. I'm Jonathon Skinner and today we're looking at the Glove Cubby Boxes for the Triumph TR4 up until the TR6. What you've got over that space of production is effectively two different versions of glove boxes. You have the TR4 4A version on the left here, and you have the TR5, TR250 and TR6 on the right here. Now obviously you only need one glove box per car. I've got two per car because I'm going to show you the differences between the OEM factory spec and the upgrade materials side of things. Just to cross-reference what we're talking about, we're obviously talking about the Glove Cubby Box located in the dashboard on the passenger side for all of those cars there. Now they are very, very similar, certainly to glance at. You'd struggle to notice the difference, but they have got some subtle and crucial differences to them, and I will be detailing those in terms of the differences, the important differences, and the compatibility between the models, if at all. Let's start with the factory spec versus the upgrade element of things. So material wise, they were both made in effectively a millboard material with a black grain facing on it, as you can see there, similar to the material, or exactly the same material actually, that was used in the boot trunk liner panels element of things for the same era of cars there. So they originally always left in black, and they're always this grained material. Now what we can offer is an upgraded version where we trim the inside in Moquette. Moquette is a short pile unbacked wool composite, so extremely similar to carpet, and it's commonly used during this era of production on things like the Jaguar E-Types and Jaguar XKs for certain areas of the car, and it's a really nice way of offering an upgrade to the dash area. And like I say, this is Moquette basically. So Moquette, it's very short pile, wool based, flexible, unbacked material. This is the equivalent wool, obviously, which is much higher pile on it, and it's got a rubber backing to it and a lot thicker effectively. But you can see there, lovely colour matching. So if your interior trim happens to be the pale shadow blue, which was an original colour for the Triumphs, this is just an example obviously, then we can do the glove box in a matching Moquette, make it all look absolutely lovely in there. So they're effectively the upgrade options there. We've done a pale shadow blue one there, and then the TR4 4A, we've done a black version here, which looks really nice as well. And obviously there are options out there for flocked versions. We do have a flocking machine. We don't tend to use it a huge amount because actually we prefer to upgrade to the Moquette. It's a much more premium material. The problem is with flocking, you tend to find it scratches off very easily over the course of time, and especially in a glove box where you're kind of throwing your keys or your phone in there or something like that. It is a material flocking that flock material that really does potentially get damaged quite easily, whereas Moquette is quite a robust material. So this is why we tend to offer that, but of course we can offer a flocked finish if you prefer. Do contact us for details, and obviously the finish would be pretty similar to the Moquette. You're not going to get as nice a feel on it. This is very soft on the fingers feel because it's a wool based product compared to flocked, which can be quite rough on the sort of fingers in that regard. So bear that in mind, but we do tend to recommend using the upgraded Moquette material. So that's the upgrade option versus the standard black, shall we say, in terms of the millboard. Now obviously I'm going to show you the differences between these here, but before we go into that, let's go over the similarities between them, as a lot of the concept is exactly the same. So the TR4 4A and the TR5, they had this lip at the bottom edge here, which was used to, with some self-tapping screws used to connect into the lower part of the dashboard panel, effectively to fix it in place here. Across the top here, they actually did change ever so subtly the cutaways here, but the concept of them is exactly the same. That is a cutaway to allow clearance for the fixing that basically fixes the dash top metalwork to the dashboard metalwork within the cars there. Then on the TR5 and TR250 and TR6 version only, they had interior lights. Now let's talk about the handedness of the cars first. So TR4 4As, because they didn't have the interior light in them, they are universal, i.e. right-hand drive and left-hand drive, they're identical. The TR5, TR250 and TR6 in theory were handed because they had an interior light using that bracket there on the outside of the car. So for example, this one here, if a light was fitted there, it would be on a left-hand drive car, because you are in the passenger seat here steering wheel's over here, and the light was on the outside of it there, opposite for the right-hand drive if you follow. We make our glove boxes universal, so we effectively pilot, cut, you can see, just score it basically to allow you to put the light in. Now obviously the light fitting, you had the actual light coming through there, then the fitting that went around it, we had pilot holes in them there, so bear that in mind. So effectively they are universal for right-hand drive and left-hand drive, both of them effectively, with just that caveat, you have to make sure that the light goes on the correct place on the later cars there. Now after that, the kind of similarities end, shall we say, but this is where some people trip up in the industry. I've seen glove boxes supplied by other firms out there that have not made an allowance to this, and in fact we've had several customers coming to us asking for very, very exact measurements to give them reassurance that our glove boxes will fit. Let me give you reassurance, we've been making these parts for almost 50 years. We have sold thousands upon thousands of them. My father has a TR5 and has owned several TR6s in the past. We know our glove boxes fit, and in fact I have testimonials from customers who have bought from other companies complaining about the fit and then come to us and commending us on our fit. So do bear that in mind. And one of the differences I wanted to show you was this back edge here and here. If I turn it round, so this is the later one on the right here, earlier one on the left here. You can see the sharp cutaway there on the later cars there compared to the fatter one there. Now the reason for that is the pipework for the sort of air and the air vents underneath the dash changed on the later cars, on the TR5 upwards, whereas the earlier cars it was a different setup, and that cutaway there is to allow more access for that pipework there. So it's a crucial but very subtle difference there. Now it's worth noting at this point, the TR4 and 4A version will not fit a TR5 onwards car. However, the opposite is not true. You can fit a TR5, TR250 and a TR6 to the earlier cars if you wanted to. You'd have to do a bit of minor tweaking and wrestling to get it in there, but it would fit absolutely fine. So do bear that in mind. This will not fit the later cars, but this will fit the earlier cars. Okie dokie. And I think apart from that, the only obvious thing to mention is how they go into the car. So I mentioned obviously you get self-tapping screws onto the lower dashboard bracket there. And this is where the two dashes effectively meet one another. In terms of fitting in the car, you cannot fit it through the opening in the dashboard. You have to go in from underneath the dash. Now there is a bracket you have to move out the way first, and then you attach it from up and underneath. It's a bit fiddly, it's a bit awkward because you are literally up underneath the dash, but it's doable. Oh, obviously it's doable. But that's the way you do it basically. Do not try and force it through there, it will not work. So do bear that in mind. And like I say, we know ours fit. We have sold thousands upon thousands of these things without any issues in the fitment department in that regard there. So I think that's kind of it. So just to summarise, TR4 4A glove boxes and the TR5 250 and TR6 glove boxes, originally always in the black grained millboard material. We can offer upgrade ones where we trim them in a moquette or if in a flocked material if you prefer, and when you do that we can of course change the colour. Prime example, this is that pale shadow blue, lovely colour, whereas this is black. He wanted an upgraded version on that there for his full leather kit. They do differ very crucially towards this back edge here. You can get the later ones to fit the earlier cars, but you can't get the earlier ones to fit the later cars. Apart from that, the overall concept of how they go in the car is extremely similar with self-tapping screws, the bracket underneath, access for underneath the dash, and then you have these cutaways here for allowing clearance for the fitment between the two dashes there. I hope you found that useful. Please remember to like, share and subscribe, and obviously check out our website if you have any of the TR4 up into the TR6s that we can assist you with the glove boxes for. Hit me up in the comments if there's anything that I've missed, but I should like to be thorough. And of course, do check out our other videos on our YouTube channel. I'm trying to do more and more videos for people that find it useful. So if you have got any topics that you want me to talk about or any products that you want me to show you, do let me know and I'll try and do that. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.